Tonya Shevenell is a lifelong Mainer and author of children's books. She's out with her third one. It's called The Moon Over Malibu, Maine, and she's back with us on 207 to talk about it. Thanks for coming in. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
So I love the story of how this book was inspired. Real life incident with two animals whom you saw. What did you see?
Well, it was one morning in May, and there was a turkey and a deer out near a bird feeder, and they were hanging out looking like they might know each other. And from there, my story wheel started turning. A
turkey and a deer, and it struck you, and it got the wheels turning. So where did the wheels then take you?
Well, I also that May was watching a very fun groundhog. I've always had groundhogs around, but this one particular groundhog had a huge personality. So I put those three together and was, well, what if the turkey and the deer were talking about how great the full moon was last night, and this groundhog pops up and says, what are you talking about? Because it's been underground all night and missed it.
Because groundhogs don't get to see the moon because they're subterranean.
In their burrow.
How do you know when you've got a really good idea that will work as a book and one that's just close to that, but not quite there?
Part of it is just being patient, but to me, if it's so uncomfortable not working on it that I have to work on it, then that's a good sign.
Yeah.
But then I also just follow what sparks my imagination, and I listen to the little kid inside me.
The illustrations in this book are by Laura Winslow, whom you've worked with before, and they are really evocative. This is a relationship that really works for you, doesn't it?
It sure does.
What is it about her work that brings the stories alive?
Well, part of it is we both love nature, we both love wildlife, so when we take walks together once in a while when we can, and we're like two peas in a pod out there. So we come with that, love and interest level, but now after doing 3 books together, we have a rhythm, and that collaboration is huge, and we spend a lot of time together on these characters and the world.
You've obviously always loved nature, being out in nature and watching, but do you watch and observe nature in a different way now? Because you're thinking about, oh, that could be a character in a children's book. That could be a scene in a children's book that I might write.
I absolutely do. To me, I mean, like even today, this morning, I was watching a family of cardinals. So it's very interesting to me. I start thinking about like questions and conversations they might be having with each other. But then even more so is when you start thinking about the relationships between different species. So there's a turkey and a deer and a groundhog and a rabbit, and those relationships are extremely interesting to me, and I never get bored of watching out the window.
Which is kind of what you have by the end of this story, is you've got this whole cast of animal characters who come together.
We do. They do. They want to be able to have a fun night watching the full moon together. But there's a lot of things on the way to that has to happen.
How have you changed as an author in writing books and stories for kids?
Well, part of it is now 3 books into it and being a self-employed, self-published author, I know the whole process. I've gotten to know the process pretty well from idea to actually getting a book, a finished product out. And so in knowing what's going to happen and knowing the process, I actually try to be very intentional about not letting that change the original spark and the interest. And so, I really don't feel like I've changed too much of what I do. I guess I'm more mindful of the making sure that it's a book that'll matter to people.
Making sure it's a book that kids want to keep turning the pages to. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, the kids and the big adults.
And the big adults, that's right. You got to get the tag team together.
That's right.
Again, the name of the book, The Moon Over Malibu, Maine. It's Tonya Shevenell's 3rd book for kids. Thanks for coming in. It's always a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, thank you for having me.
More information on the book, on the author, it's in the 207 section of our app or website. Stay with us. We will return right after this.